I wish I could be happy right now. Jesus Christ. Yeah. I've. It took a lot for me to get here. Yeah, that game was something. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me here tonight rather. It's a sad night for me. Because I happen to love a football team that just basically goes to the divisional round, and that's it. I know I'm supposed to be talking politics tonight, and we've got a lot to discuss, me and Nick. But I gotta say, I wanted to just get out a few words about the Ravens. Shout out to Lamar Jackson. Shout out to they're my home team. But that was one of the most gut-wrenching losses. I've been watching the Ravens since 1996. And that was hands down one of the most heartbreaking losses I think we've ever taken. I got nothing. Mark Andrews dropped that pass on a 2-point conversion. Game goes overtime. I'm not supposed to be talking football, but like just right now, it's like you hear, you've got this overpowered team that regularly blows out teams during the regular season. Is usually like manhandles teams. We throttled the Steelers only to lose, to once again beat ourselves, basically. So yes, another looks like we go into Cancun too. And I've never, device is not connected. Uh-oh. What's going on here? You know what? I might have to restart this stream. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to restart this. Because Nick is having what appears to be some type of issue. Device is not connected. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop the stream. Gonna get with my guy here. Gonna get with Nick, see what's going on, and then we'll oh, hold on. Do we have something? I think we do.
Do you hear me?
I hear you.
I feel like I sound really loud.
No, you don't sound loud at all.
Okay, I can hear myself very loud then for some reason. I got a new microphone. Okay.
No, I
think I sound better now. I had to lower my own volume. Do I sound any different to you?
You slightly. You don't sound all that different.
Okay. Well, maybe I just waste a lot of money on a microphone I didn't need, but that's okay.
What did you get?
I got the what the hell is it called? And it's a Shure Shure MV7. Sure
You
enough.
got it. You playing? We going big league today, ain't you?
Yes, I am. Trying to.
All right. Well, okay. So yes, I am as you can see, Nick's here. Well, there's no video yet.
No.
No, there's no video yet.
You didn't. Are you not letting me in, or is there something with my device?
There might be something up with your device. Because I do not. Yeah, I hear you, but I can't see you.
All right. Let me see. Why would my camera not be going on?
I don't know. I have no idea. Apologies to everyone here.
This is not what I had in. It's not what I had in mind.
That's okay. You want to do you need a second? Oh wait. Paul, I got someone in the stream that says that he can see you.
Ooh. Can you see Isaiah?
Yeah. Hold on, because I can't. Hold on. Let me just ask him.
Let me see here.
Can you see me? I'm posting that to one chat. If you are in the chat, please. Oh, okay. So Paul can see the both of us, but for some odd reason he can't see you. Well, I can't see you.
You can't see me.
Yeah, I cannot see you, which is
feel like John Cena right now.
Yeah. What a fucking guy that is.
Speaking Chinese.
Yeah. Sure. For sure. Nah, man.
That's pretty good, man.
I have no idea what the fuck I just said. Because I don't speak. No, listen. I speak Japanese, and that is the only like
Far
Eastern language that I speak. Do not ask me to speak Korean. Do not ask me to speak Mandarin. If you want somebody that can speak Mandarin, go find Jack Posobiec.
Go find Jack.
Yeah, go find Jack Posobiec. That guy? Oh my God. Yeah. Well, welcome to Sunday Night Live. Working title. And I am coming to you live from the County of Kings, the snowy borough of Brooklyn, which is it's snowing out. It's it looks like the road. It looks like the roads are okay. Nothing crazy as I look out my window here, but glad to have everyone here. We've got 190 people. All right. What I'm gonna do, Nick, is I'm gonna remove you and then I'm gonna add you back because I still cannot see you.
Yeah, let's try that. Let's do that.
All right, hang on. Okay, and now nothing still. Wild.
Let me sign out and try to go back in. How about that?
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna click right back in here.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So we got a lot to discuss politics wise. I've actually we've got like a little bit better structure tonight. But yeah, I guess I just needed to vent a little bit about my Ravens performance tonight, which was again abysmal. Like we don't know. Like again, we are an OP franchise. The Ravens are absolutely overpowered. Okay, there we go. Hold on. Gotcha. Now I can see you.
So what do you think, Isaiah? I'm glad to hear that. Should I keep the background lights on? You think you like that
Dude,
better?
that's perfect.
All right, I'm gonna turn off that little lamp back there. Let me stop
No,
my
no,
camera.
no,
quick.
no.
You like that lamp back there?
Yes, that is perfect.
Okay.
We just gotta get you some artwork.
I know.
On that
Oh, actually,
back
no, I
wall.
haven't. I actually have a really nice painting. I'm gonna go this week and get it framed. I'm gonna put it right behind me. A painting from Costa Rica, man. La República de Costa Rica.
Actually, real quick, I got this really good coffee. This Costa Rican peaberry coffee.
Peaberry.
Yeah, shout to this is a free plug. Shout to Puerto Rico Importing Company, location in on Bleecker Street. I absolutely adore that fucking place. It's amazing coffee. Shout to Pete Jr. Paul, can you see the comments?
Oh, let me look. I'm on the private chat section. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, switch over to comments.
Yes.
Okay,
indeed.
yeah. I think Paul is on YouTube and he sees us. But anyways, oh God. We are 14 hours away from a new president.
Oof. A new old president.
A new old president. But let's be very, very clear.
Twice back at you like Christ back at you.
There you go.
To quote my brother Joel Santana.
Oh shit. You went there. Wow.
I'm a big Dipset fan, man.
No shit.
Yeah, Harlem hip hop in general. I love Big L. I love old Children of the Corn, COC. Cam and Mace's old group.
Well, of course, yeah.
Yeah. That's if you never heard that, there's some fire on those tracks. You wouldn't recognize Cam. Like, I mean, it sounds like his voice, but he's rapping like really kind of quick. It's not the new Cam. Although I love the new Cam as well, or the Cam of the last 20 years, basically.
Yeah.
Where he kind of like slowly raps on.
Shout out to It Is What It Is, though.
Oh, hell yeah.
That is one hell of a podcast. The two of them,
they're funny,
and
man. They're funny as hell, those two.
Yeah. Usually I talk a lot of shit about Harlem, but you know what? Those two dudes absolutely kill it. They absolutely kill it.
Oh, they've been mean. You know, me and my friends, a lot of my friends are big Dipset Cam fans, especially, and you know, I feel prophetic now because we're like, he always had so much personality. Like his lyrics are always very silly and funny, and he didn't take himself too seriously. And and then you hear like his skits and stuff and his interviews. Like you remember the famous Bill O'Reilly interview when he was you mad, you know, with him and Dame Dash.
No. I don't remember that one. I remember.
You don't remember that one?
I don't remember that.
Pull it up.
Oh, you know what? Shoot. Maybe you know what? If it's on X, I'll see if it's on X.
We don't have to do it now, but one day we should pull it up. But it's hilarious. It was back, Bill O'Reilly was like had the Tucker slot on Fox, and he was just kind of going after like rap and saying rap is it's not a good influence or whatever. And Cam was just on there literally trolling him on prime time on Fox, like probably in front of like 4 million people or something.
Yeah, but you know what the problem is? Like hip hop sucks these days.
Yeah.
Hip hop is absolute garbage. Yeah. I'm sorry. Like, I
agree.
I've tried. There are some like there are certain tracks I can listen to, but I absolutely despise hip hop these days.
Yeah, and there's not much new. I like was it West Side? Not West Side Connection. West Side Gun. Griselda, I think it's called.
Yeah.
But they're basically like early 90s Wu-Tang Purple Tape kind of style. Raekwon style. So I think it's good. Yeah, they're called Griselda, I think. But they're kind of like a time machine group.
I got you.
But they really got it down, that sound and that energy. So I like them. Not that I listen to them all the time, but I do appreciate them. But yeah, I agree, man. A lot of rap now, I think hip hop, whatever. It's hard to even call it that. The mumble rap shit, and it's like it's sleepy. It's low energy, sleep.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's also
it's like, oh my gosh, shut up.
Yeah, it's that's drill music. That's drill.
Oh, that's not technically hip hop. So I'm old. I guess I'm too old for that shit.
Well, it's. You ever heard of Pop Smoke?
I heard that. I don't know. I'm not sure what that is though. But I heard that term.
So Pop Smoke was rather, he's deceased.
It's a guy. Okay.
Yeah, it was a New York drill rapper, and usually like you'll hear like the beat will sometimes go like it was that kind of like beat.
So I see you do a little beatboxing on the side.
Dude, I haven't done that in years. I ain't about to start. I'm too old.
It sounded legit, man. Sounded legit. Like some Biz Markie or Dougie Fresh.
So I guess I gave my the opening statement that I had in mind basically got overshadowed by this fuck ass Ravens game.
Yeah, I caught some of the end of that, man. A lot of turnovers it looked like, huh?
3 turnovers.
That sucks.
Two failed 2-point conversions. The last one being a drop by Mark Andrews, who is usually Mr. Reliable, but but listen, it's the story. It's the story of being a Ravens fan.
You guys had some success. I feel like in the past, at least maybe in the past 20 years. Maybe
we're so overpowered.
Yeah,
that the only team that can really beat us is the Ravens.
Yeah. I see.
We're so
yeah.
In week 4 of the regular season, we beat the shit out of the Bills 35-10.
Could use that today.
Oh,
yeah. I've been there, man.
Gross underutilization of Derrick Henry towards the end.
Oh, man.
But again, there's you bring in this gigantic running back to bash your way into the end zone. He's your closer, and then you barely use him as your closer. But again, this is not a sports live. I'm trying not to talk about it. Oh,
time heals all wounds, brother.
Listen,
and so will the inauguration celebration. I think tomorrow is going to be fun.
Yes, absolutely.
As long as nobody tries to kill Trump again for the fucking 5th time or whatever it's been now.
Shit, man. That is, that genuinely concerns me.
Yeah. I mean, that's always going to be concern. Like, that's the thing. Like, people are just going to be like, I guess that's it. We can't try anymore. It's like, hey, they could try 100 million times. And, hopefully he has people that cover for him and protect him. But, you never know, man. It's sketchy.
Yeah. Well, before we begin, I am going to give. I'm just going to run and grab some water real quick. So I'm going to let you make your opening statement, sir, while I go handle that. So please, the floor, sir, is yours.
This is a lot of pressure. I wasn't prepared for this, man. What am I doing an opening statement of?
I mean, just like how are you? Who are you? What do you do? I don't want to bite off of who is it? Tim Pool. Because Tim Pool, every time he has a guest on, it's like, who are you? What do you do? I'm not gonna do that because I don't know if he's trademarked any shit, and I am not about to start beef with a guy that probably sleeps in that beanie. Have you ever seen the top of his fucking head? I know I haven't.
I have. I've seen pictures of it, supposedly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but I'm not here to disparage Tim Pool.
Neither am I. I gotta, but yeah, I'm not. The way he destroyed that. Did you see that? The way he destroyed Luke Beasley a few weeks ago.
Yeah, that was rough, man. That kid was feeling bad about himself, I think, at that point.
Well, he should.
Yeah.
You're a fucking leftist. I'm sorry. After the last 4 years, I have to say, the last 4 years have been absolutely atrocious. Politically, that is. But but I will say this. it's been a very eye-opening, a very eye-opening 4 years. I basically learned. Matter of fact, that's where we'll start. Like, if you want to just go ahead and just open with that. I mean, we've got a list. Somebody put together a very good list of images, and we're going to go over that. But Nick, I'll just give you the opportunity if you feel up to it while I go.
Yeah. I'll talk about what you just said there.
All right. I'll be right back.
Last 4 years, man, have been quite consequential. I think we've seen a legacy media kind of die, and not so slow death, coming from COVID and all the misinformation from them and censorship from them and the Biden administration and social media. We've seen Joe Rogan and other podcasters kind of bury them with just with facts, with truth, and just them losing their credibility. I think is one of the most revolutionary things in the last 4 years. We see Trump almost get killed, a couple assassination attempts. We see the Democrats go from kind of controlling everything culturally to really being in trouble as a party because they refuse to learn from their mistakes. They refuse to learn from, listen to the feedback that people have been giving them for at least 8 years, because people were already getting sick of like wokeness and stuff since 2016, at least 15, maybe even 2014. That's part of the reason why I think Hillary lost and why Trump did so well, is because he was kind of somebody who was brave enough to be like, it's like, I don't care. You're not going to tell me what I can't say. You're not going to tell me what I can't talk about. You're not going to tell me what I can't joke about. So he was, but the Democrats, because of COVID, I think really were able to, because they control legacy media and everything, and just the character assassination of Trump, and Republicans and conservatives, they've been able to, avoid kind of dealing with themselves, avoid looking in the mirror and making changes that need to be made. And they kind of continue with the same nonsense of like, the transgender stuff where they prey on children and deny the biological realities of the sexes and wanting men to play in women's sports and be in women's private spaces. So it's things like that. Of course, the open borders policy where, it's like racist to even ask about it, but like it's, for some reason, they think it's okay to let 10, 20 million people come in last several years that they have no idea who they are. They could be terrorists. They could be human traffickers. I mean, we know that some of them are for sure, right? Even if it's a small percentage of them, that's thousands and thousands of people that might be criminals, that are human traffickers, murderers, gang members, terrorists, spies. It's just so this is what the Democrats have been doing, and it's finally caught up with them, I think. And of course, they've been hiding what the Biden's age, and pretending like he was fine, saying as sharp as sharp as he's ever been, and he's clearly wasn't that wasn't the case. Probably clearly it wasn't the case about 3 years ago. So we don't even know what president we had, who's been running the country, who's been making the rules, or signing laws or pushing the agenda. We don't really know who it was, because it wasn't Biden most of the time. So I don't know if you heard anything what I just said.
I did not. I was I ran in the other room. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, I was just kind of going back in my head about what the 4 years, how the Democrats have kind of lost credibility and the legacy media have lost credibility. I think that's probably some of the most revolutionary things that have happened in the last 4 years, and probably more recently, even more like last 2 to 3 years, where it really started happening, where the legacy media really lost its power, because they were still in power, like in COVID, they were still, they tricked everybody into believing so many things, and trying to, make Rogan look bad, and say he was taking like a horse dewormer, and had a picture of him with the green face, and trying to, saying all this nonsense about him, The View and everybody. Yeah. And it's like they've lost back then they had more credibility and people were believing what they said about Trump and what they'd say about conservatives and all that. Now, obviously, that's not the case because they went balls to the wall this past year and the past 8 years. I mean, they've been talking about Trump for the past 8 years. You know, I mean, it's not just 4 years. Like, he was out of office for 4 years, but they still talked about him every day. Like he was every day, like he was still the president.
They kept him relevant.
Yeah,
they kept him relevant. Whether intent. Well, they kept him. I'm just going to be honest with you, because I've had these discussions with these discussions with my fiance, and we've talked about I've had other discussions as well, but the thing that pissed me off the most, like, I could pick out something every single year that radicalized me little by little.
I could probably pick something out every twice a month at least.
The thing that first made me realize what kind of power we were dealing with was in June of 2021, when my Twitter, it was Twitter still back then, when my Twitter account got permanently suspended. I was out of commission for 119 days. Yeah, I was out of commission for 119 days. And all because I said that because it was right after George Floyd, when Derek Chauvin got sentenced. And this
St. George,
right? And this guy who went on a full abolish prisons rant, actually, Paul mentions it. He said, do you remember when you got banned for no, it wasn't 5 months, it was 119 days, so it was like almost 4. But yeah, I refuse to call that thing in a dress a woman. I refuse. And so
who was this? What was this, Isaiah?
This was a
was it a trans woman? I'm assuming. Who was this person you're talking about?
Danielle Moscato.
Oh, I'll look her. I'll look them up.
Yeah, fucking. And let me tell you something. If you I know that this has been.
Oh my God.
This has been a very touchy subject and a sacrament of the left for the last 10 to 15 years or so. But I think that's when that's when I first got radicalized. When the Democratic Party, when I started watching the Democratic Party essentially devote all of their resources, all of their time, all of their energy, all of pushing this fiction that a man can be a woman by say so alone. It is the most ridiculous thing I have ever seen in my life. And the Democratic Party, who frankly were bored, because if you remember, Obergefell was won. Gay marriage, same-sex marriage was the law of the land, and it was confirmed by confirmed by the Supreme Court. You had all this stuff going on, and then you had to invent something else because you had a pile of cash and you had to burn through it. And what did they do? They pushed that onto the population.
That's crazy, man.
And I sat now, and because I refused to comply with this fiction, I got my account suspended for 119 days.
How did you get it reinstated?
When Dave Chappelle went off in Sticks and Stones.
And they just decided, okay, I guess it's okay now.
Yeah, they were like, oh well, we're bringing you back.
Interesting. Interesting. How many followers you had back then?
Like 4,000 or something, 2,000.
So they just that's interesting. So they remembered you, or did you like mention them again? And be like, hey man, Dave said this. It was what?
That's exactly what I did.
Oh, okay. So
I appealed 4 times.
Wow.
I appealed 4 times. That was the first thing that radicalized me about this presidency, because that's when I figured, like, Title IX and Title VII on day 1 of Biden's presidency was turned inside out to favor men in dresses, to favor everything revolving around gender expression, gender identity, all of these things that had basically, they pushed this into the mainstream along with all of the other COVID madness, the masks, the 6 feet, the social distancing. You had to stand 6 feet apart.
What else they do?
It's
and then of course the BLM, like Marxist religion they created too, the anti-racism stuff, the white fragility stuff, the the kneeling, the genuflecting.
Jesus Christ.
Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. It was honestly, it was disturbing. This whole period of time has been disturbing as hell. It really is. I'm looking for, hold on. Here we go. Found it. Found the thing I was looking for. That's when I knew that something was going on behind the scenes. And I go back to my DEI ex-girlfriend. She worked in DEI and still does, I think. But she had left me, and I had just started to figure out like what type of work she did. And then once I found out like what she was into, I think I told the story of how she like basically screamed at me about adhering to her coworkers' pronouns. And I was just like, oh no. So she leaves me in Thanksgiving of 2020. Then several months later, I get kicked off of Twitter. So I'm already like, something's up. Something's going on. 2022 was the Afghanistan withdrawal. That's when I really started to like, I was already disturbed by some other shit like local, because I think 2022 was when Cuomo got ousted.
2022? Yeah, probably around that, or late 2021, maybe something like that. Yeah. He went from being like the next Democrat, the next Democrat presidential nominee, probably in the bag, and being like a national figure, to what did he do? He grabbed his intern's leg or something. I don't know. What did he do? I forget. Massaged her.
It was some.
And who knows? He might not downplay it. He might have been, he might have been creepy. I don't know. But
no, he hugged his staff, his female staffers, and apparently one of them didn't like how he hugged her, and so and basically they made up it was 3 women who made up this big story, and Tish James helped the attorney.
That was like a political assassination, right?
It was a political
from the Democrats.
assassination. Yes, it was.
Yeah,
because a lot of progressives, a lot of these fucking commies absolutely hated working under Andrew Cuomo.
Yeah, and it's just another example of woke progressive leftism left unchecked. Like they're eating themselves. They actually, if they ran with Cuomo, he had a good chance of winning, a way better chance of winning than Biden, who can't even talk, or Kamala.
Yeah,
way better chance. If they didn't just try to destroy him, and they did destroy him basically. So that, and also the DEI hire of Kamala being a person who's not a talented politician at all, not a talented communicator at all, can't even think on her feet. And then they have and then they're like stuck with her. They're stuck with her once Biden. They've been lying. I mean, it's really an accumulation of sins for the Democrats that came back to bite them in the ass. It's karma, big time karma. Yeah. Pretending that Biden, they just from the beginning. So you know what? Oh shit. After year 1, it becomes obvious that Biden's really slipping. He's fell up the plane, walking up the plane. He's already saying crazy stuff, forgetting what he's saying, falling asleep.
Yeah.
Clearly he's not all there. And then it gets even more and more obvious near 2, 3 years in, 4 years in. And then obviously the debate, he shits the bed. If they just acknowledge it from year 1 and they said, all right, Biden's going to be done. He's done, right? Let's start doing a strong primary. Let's see if we can get the best Democrats. If they just did the right thing there's a chance they could have won. Probably not, because I think the culture changed. But then you add on top of that, lying all the way till the end. Then okay, Kamala's the best thing ever for 3 months. Newsom, all the horse shit with Newsom and all the crime, pretending like they're strong on crime all of a sudden, when they just let people loot all the time and just shoplift, and the open borders, all the things they lied about, all that stuff came out to bite them in the ass. And the DEI hire came out to bite them in the ass, as it did in LA fires as well. And it's I hope people are seeing this. I think most people are, if they're honest with themselves. I know partisan people don't, partisan Democrats, besides Bill Maher, I guess. Most of them are it's climate change. That's what happens when you ignore climate change, but America's being radicalized. America's white supremacists, and now black people and Latino people are white supremacists too. It's that's still what they're clinging to.
Do you know what bothers me especially about the last several years? That rhetoric there, Nick, is that learned fucking helplessness. This learned helplessness. It's okay, so you've got a fire department that doesn't put water in, that doesn't make sure that, the state doesn't make sure that there's water in the reservoirs, that the fire hydrants are working properly, and that people have, and that your firefighter, you're cutting $17 million. We're going to talk about that in depth, but this, it's what bothers me the most is that, like I said, it's that learned helplessness. It's we will externalize blame to anything else. Climate change, previous administrations, like the lady said, the one of the fat lesbians that heads LAFD. Well, if I got to lift your husband up, then he put himself in he kind of put himself in a bad position to be. If I got to carry him out of a fire.
What an attitude, huh? What an attitude to have. Imagine if she actually ever brought. I mean, I don't know if she ever actually seen any kind of work in the field, but if she ever did, have to rescue somebody, I wonder if she ever brought that out. She's well, his big ass better find somebody to pick him up, because he's in the wrong position. He's put himself in the wrong situation. So
meanwhile,
guy suffocates some smoke or burns
exactly smoke inhalation and all that.
The ceiling drops on him.
Despicable, absolutely despicable. That attitude was so disturbing to me in that video. I think I have it.
Yeah, and it's while you try to look at that, man, it's really disturbing because that's the kind of attitude that you'd at least think you're smart enough to hide. You know, you don't just
You
do that
would
in front of
think,
camera.
yeah.
Like maybe you have a shitty narcissistic attitude and you would, that's how you feel and that's how you are behind the scenes, which is shitty, right? You're a terrible person for that. But she thinks this is how crazy wokeness is and DEI and how accepted it is and how they actually feel virtuous saying stupid shit like this. It's like they've had nobody talk back to them. Nobody ever challenged them to say, "Are you fucking crazy saying that? Like you're a firefighter."
Yeah.
Like you can, you might not be able to carry somebody like that. I'm not saying every firefighter is able to carry somebody. Like they might not literally be able to, and that's something else. But you're just saying, well, that's his fault. And they said that in front of camera. I'm like in a documentary or whatever, a commercial, wherever the hell that was, some kind of segment to promote them.
Yeah.
And it's like, are you crazy doing that? It's like that should be if I were the bosses seeing that, because I'm sure they saw it, I'd be like, what did you say? What did you just say to everybody?
Yeah.
About us? You think that, like this is our policy? Crazy, but it's because nobody would challenge him. Everybody shuts their mouth and be like, "Yeah, I guess he's right. That is male privilege. He's a man, so he's a white man. He should get up."
Mm-hmm.
It's like that's their attitude. Like, and she's brave. She's a lesbian.
Yeah. It's
it is disgusting. It is.
There we go. Here we go. I found it. So yeah, hold on a second. I found it. So now I just gotta go to present, share screen, and there we go. So, all right, yeah, you gotta see this shit. So I'll expand it here, and
you want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you. It gives that person a little bit more ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better.
Pause that, Rim. Pause that. Yeah, we have to stop there.
Yeah. Now, here's what disturbs the fuck out of me. Okay, I don't care. If I am in a fire, if I am in a position where my life is in danger, I do not care what race the person is when they're coming to get me out.
And which I think everybody on Earth hopefully fucking agrees with. Unless you're nuts.
The idea that listen, this is what motivates these people. Okay, what motivates them is it's a projection. You understand? It's a projection. It's narcissistic projection. It is. I am motivated by someone's race. I would feel more at ease with someone who is my race, who is my gender, if you want to use that. I'm kind of over that fucking word. I would feel at ease with people who look like me, and only people who look like me, because and so I'm going to externalize that and project that onto everyone else. It's psychotic.
It is absolutely psychotic.
and I'm gonna offer one other thing. It's racist as fuck.
Yep.
Because if that had been a white man,
yep,
or a fairer skinned Latino man such as yourself, okay,
or a white woman, even, like, you can't get away with that.
Right.
Can't get away with a statement like that. People would be like, "Holy shit, what did you say?"
Could you imagine some Becky? Could you imagine some
Taylor
white
Swift looking girl,
right? Some Bushwick bitch just going like, I would feel so much better if I only had, like, I need a white fireman to come and get me out, like, because, like, holy shit, like, I'm scared to death. Like, could you imagine
Oh God. Yeah.
With all the upward inflection, some Midwestern Bushwick bitch just going off like I would not, like, under no circumstances would that be allowed.
Oh, that person would be like they'd be like, Twitter, do your thing, and have everybody find,
Exactly.
or Blue Sky now, Blueski, do your Blueski, do your thing, man. You know, let's ruin them. Find them on LinkedIn. Let's get 'em.
Disgraceful.
Yeah. But
Absolutely
this
disgraceful.
it's crazy because yeah, she was in her bubble in LA where that's okay to say and think.
Right. So
I
then,
guess. Like she's lauded over there. She's celebrated. They're probably like, oh my God, that's so brave. That is like so brave.
Yeah,
we do want to see people that look like us and make us feel validated. And
right.
you know, and it's like, are you retarded? Are you fucking retarded?
Yeah.
I would understand it more if that was like a fucking sophomore in college doing gender studies. It's stupid as fuck still and crazy and racist. But this woman is assistant chief. She's probably like mid to late 30s at least, maybe 40s. You're too old and hopefully you should be obviously not professional enough, but you should be at that level, way too smart and wise to be saying something as stupid as that and psychotic. It really is psychotic.
Listen,
it is psychotic.
Listen, DEI. I'm saying this right now. DEI has done nothing but elevate the absolute worst of humanity. It is fake work that only losers can get. Okay. And by losers, I'm talking about people. I'm talking about people who would not have any other way of making money otherwise.
Yeah, losers, manipulators, people with no shame.
Exactly.
Like psychopaths, sociopaths, like people who have no shame.
Yeah.
They just like to they'll manipulate. They'll use people as tools. They'll bully people. They'll bully people with this kind of thing. Like, I'll cancel you. Oh, did you say something a little bit?
That was, I've told the story often. I have direct, intimate experience with this. And I won't go into it because I don't want to, because I want to get back to this here. So let's
that was strong enough.
You ready?
Yeah.
To do this, or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire, which my response is he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
Okay. Oh God! So they should change this. Only about 5% of working firefighters are willing to carry your big husband out of the house. That's what that should be. That should be the.
How about you? How about this? How about this?
That should be the rest of that caption for LAFD.
How about this? No fat chicks in LAFD. Yeah. How about that? Enough of this body positivity shit. Okay. Enough.
Oh God.
Enough already.
So yeah, as we said,
people out here dying, and that's the first thing that's the first thing that you fucking that you focus on.
Yeah. Oh, the entitlement, man. He's in the wrong place. Motherfucker, that's your job to get him out of the wrong place into the right place. That's your fucking
exactly. You're a municipal employee. Okay, you're a municipal employee. How dare you? Like that's one of the three. That's one of the three most important jobs in the city is police, fire, and EMS.
It's like cops showing up. Like somebody's in your house trying to kill you. Cops show up like, man, I don't know. You had their house at the wrong place. Let somebody in. So,
it's.
Dude, I can't get in there, man. Sorry.
Can I tell you something else? I'm gonna say this because it made me think of this. I think we've watched as leftists basically reversed all of their positions. Because remember how they were the ones who were like, "Don't victim blame."
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
victim blaming. You never blame the victim. You never this is when Me Too was riding high and all that, and everybody was like, you can't ever blame the victim. Don't ever in your fucking life blame the victim. And there you go.
Yeah. And the same thing with like the Believe All Women. Remember that during Me Too? And
I
then,
sure do.
and as soon as it's a woman who's like, that's a conservative woman or something like that, or say a conservative woman is complaining about a quote unquote trans woman who's a man, and saying, oh, he did this, he did that. They don't want to believe that.
No,
They don't want to take her word for it. She's just being a transphobic bigot. She's just full of hate. And what happened to Believe All Women? What happened? What happened to that? No, not them. Not when they disagree with us. Then we stop believing all of them. And of course, Believe All Women's an absurd thing to say, anyways. It's as retarded as saying Believe All Men.
exactly. Oh, so Paul, good friend of mine out of Indiana. Shout to you, Paul. You're great. He said, if you're going to talk about dysregulated Dems, you need to show the video of that hysterical, awful state legislator from Nebraska. Oh, I know who he's talking about. Hold on.
I'm gonna go get my water too, but I left it upstairs. I'll be right back.
Go ahead, dude. Right. Go ahead. Yeah, I am going to find the. There you go. Hold on. I'm looking for this now. Where
actually, I'm an idiot. It's right here. I was looking around for it. I couldn't find it. It was like right under my chair.
Wait a minute. Ah, got it.
All right, we're back.
Okay, you're back, dude.
I'm back.
Yeah,
drinking tea, but it doesn't quench your thirst quite as well.
Well, I
love tea, but I need like some cool. I need a cool drink. I need some cool water right now.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I've got water, and then I'm gonna go get I have a tea bag. I put on a kettle. But yeah, this is what he's talking about. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here.
Oh my God.
We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans.
Is she trying to start a chant or something, like a sing along?
Dude,
what the hell is she doing?
I don't know. Like that
start a parade to go down the street. Like what?
That was her. But understand, like that shit is a religion.
Oh, I know.
Like
I know,
communism is a religion.
Oh yeah.
DEI is a religion. But DEI is very much intermingled with queer theory. Okay. And all of this stuff, the floodgates of evil were opened, and America got to see all of the. Basically, we've been living on the fucking college campus for the last 4 years.
Yep.
That's where we've been.
At least 8 years, actually.
At least 8. Yeah, at least 8. Because
it started happening like really coming to the fore, I think, like 2013, 14-ish, like Yale. The professors getting yelled at about like the Halloween costume. You remember that?
Yeah, and then
Christakis
yeah, Paul said 12 years.
Yeah, in some ways, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, South Park was already making fun of the trans stuff, I think, around 12 to 14 years ago, but it wasn't so. It was just coming out a little bit. It wasn't so prominent. Where then everybody had to change up their pronoun game.
Paul's on it tonight. He said this is the ethos of the post-Obama Democratic Party. Yeah. I've,
let the crazy people take over, man.
Exactly. That's exactly what the fuck happened.
No, that was the wrong move.
Yeah, it was. So let's talk about this since we're still reflecting. Ben Q, who, conservative commentator, Anglo-American maximalist, occasional sports shit posting. Well, first off, I'm giving you a follow, buddy. And then let's see.
Oh yeah, this thread. Yeah, this is good. Yeah,
this thread. Joe Biden's disastrous presidency in 25 photos. I'm quoting here. I am not an artist, but I love the power of photos and the stories they tell. Here are 25 photos I think tells the story of the Biden years. Please share yours in the comments. Number 1, a socially distant cabinet. And it didn't pull up. Why didn't it pull it up? Let's try this again. So there we go. Look at this. Look at this fucking abomination.
Oh, God.
Everyone masked, everyone sitting, sitting, 6 feet apart, everyone just looking dour and evil and just like how is this, serious question, leftists, if you any of you dickheads that I haven't that I haven't roasted on here, because fuck you. How is this okay? Like, how is this okay?
It's positively dystopian, this image here, man. This is like this is a thing that's gonna be in the history books and be like, yeah, shit was kind of weird back then, man.
Yeah,
people sort of lose their minds a little bit.
Yeah. So let's see, a socially distant.
And that's not even. I think a worst one is the freaking. Even worse than that is the kneeling, George Floyd kneeling thing with the congressman with like African garb, like Schumer.
Gas prices.
That was even crazier.
Look at that.
Look at this. Yeah, gas prices.
Gas
Jesus.
prices.
Oof.
That's California.
Oh,
that's the only thing. $7.25.
It never hit that in New York, did it?
No.
No, right?
What's
the highest one? Like 5?
5. Yeah,
the
highest it hit was 5.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But then what? Pete Buttigieg, who honestly,
Buttigieg,
out of all of, and I mean this,
Pete Booty Juice,
I genuinely hate that man. I genuinely hate Pete.
Why do you hate him? I don't know him too well. I know he's a bullshitter sometimes, but I don't know him too well. I don't know.
Why do I hate Pete Buttigieg?
Let me count the ways.
Oh God!
Not to derail you, but should we?
Hold on.
Should we derail? You want to talk? Okay, you want to talk?
No, because I will go off.
Yeah,
I will go off, and we're gonna go because we got
we got a lot of stuff to talk about. We'll get back to it one day. We'll put it on the docket for some other time.
Exactly.
It's like a nice Pete Buttigieg. I wonder if we're ever going to see him again. Come to think of it.
I hope and pray to God that we don't. Now, Paul.
Anyways, yeah, let's stick to Biden. Paul
said it's Blinken who's the worst, a Moser and traitor to our country and to our allies. On the international stage, Paul, I will agree to that. But Pete Buttigieg was the Secretary of Transportation. Okay. And that fucking guy told the American people that if you didn't like $5 a gallon gas, go buy an electric vehicle.
For what? For $40,000-$50,000?
For $50,000-$60,000. $40,000-$50,000. Meanwhile, people are in debt. People are out of work. They can't get jobs. Okay. Inflation's going through the fucking roof. And the first thing that you tell these people, the first thing they tell these people is, oh, well, just buy an electric vehicle. Like, fuck you. I don't want electric cars. Again, like that's something else. That's something else like a rip on for minutes. Yeah. So, but yeah, Blinken is evil on the international stage, but Pete Buttigieg is a special kind of fucking evil. That's the thing. Remember when East Palestine happened in Ohio?
Is that when the train derailed or something? I know there's some kind of chemicals that came out that were pretty good. Who knows? There's probably a lot. I bet you it was a lot worse than the media let on either.
It blackened the sky.
Yeah.
It blackened the whole sky.
Media wanted to forget about that one quick.
Yeah. So gas prices rose sharp massively in 2021. And look at that. This is let me see.
Jesus.
Heading north, Guatemalan authorities pushing back a migrant caravan. Nearly all of these individuals were eventually granted entry into the U.S. through the southern border.
I'm sure they're all really
massive
outstanding people.
But look at how many of these people are wearing masks. Even down there, people were still masking up. Again, this is mass formation psychosis. The stairs. In an early sign of his decline, Biden fell while walking up the steps.
Yeah, that's tough to do.
Yeah.
I could see, I might say, okay, he tripped. It's very steep stairs, windy, but going down the stairs, but up the stairs is tough.
It was times like this when I really felt bad for Biden, but then he would say, honestly, it's really hard because, and this is going to be part of what we need to talk about later, is how much of this was actually on Biden to begin with?
Right. That's a good question. That's a legit question.
Yeah,
and it's pretty, and that's a sad thing that we have to ask that question.
Yeah,
it's like scary, actually.
Now, this is what radicalized me. This is what made me say, you know what? As a Democrat, fuck Biden. I'm done with him. I don't like him. I'm over it. The Afghanistan withdrawal. This C-130 trying to take off. This thing actually had Afghani men hanging on to the landing gear. When that plane landed.
It's crazy.
When that plane landed, I think two, three people actually fell off the plane in midair. Okay. And then they found a guy in the landing gear who had frozen to death.
And it's like, imagine the situation it must be in over there that they feel like that's the better option.
I mean, we all know the barbarity of the Taliban. And look at this.
Right.
These 13.
Now, this is one of the worst things that Biden's probably done, right? Because those people, why did he leave that way? Like, why didn't he get all the Americans out, get our equipment out? It was so haphazard and chaotic and insecure, right? How they did it. Like, they didn't secure anything. It's just kind of all right, let's just get out of here, escape. So you don't have to do that. It's Afghanistan. It's fine. Like, we get rid of the United States. You don't have to do that. You could do it in an orderly way,
Yeah.
And I don't know why he couldn't do that. Why couldn't he figure it out? I mean, Trump kind of famously, didn't he threaten the Taliban's leader and with a picture of his house and in a meeting, and he's like, you're gonna do what I want, and here's why. And the guy did what he wanted. It's like, just do that. Be like, hey, I know where you live, man. I don't want anybody attacking any of our people when we're leaving. Maybe try to set some ground rules for the people in Afghanistan if you can, although it's gonna be hard to enforce that when you leave. But clearly, let us get our equipment out. So why are we running away like scolded dogs? Like they're gonna beat us up or something like that. It's like it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense that they would have to leave that way. I don't get it.
So this is
you might have more insight about it than I do.
Well, this is the piece that radicalized me. Okay. Crazy in the Atlantic. Joe Biden, Saigon. The betrayal. This is a long piece. Okay. This is a long piece. And I read every single word of this. George Packer, who wrote another book that I thoroughly enjoyed, called The Unwinding. George Packer's writing captivates me. Okay. And there's a portion in here. Let me see if I can find it.
So that's a 2-hour listen to read through the whole thing?
Yeah, 2-hour listen.
That's like a small book.
Yeah. And this was published in January, first published in January of 22, and then it looks like it was updated February 9th. But yeah, man, this is a sad story. Sad story, and honestly, it's such a detailed wreck of just how bad we betrayed the Afghani people over there. And my thing was, whenever and I knew something was wrong with Democrat voters when I was talking to people back then, and I was like, listen, there's no way. This is when I knew something was wrong. When people tried to blame Trump for the Afghanistan withdrawal going bad, and I said,
What was the line? They said that they were. They said that he had it planned out. It's like, so you had to. I mean, how does this have anything to do with him though? Like this is a plan. Do you have to follow the same plan? If that was his exact plan, which I'm sure it wasn't, but if you had to, did you have to follow it exactly? Like you're in charge of the country now.
I said this before.
What are you talking about?
I said this before, and I'll say it again. You could have said no.
Yeah, that too. Or you could have done it, but just had a different.
Kabul fell when Kabul fell in 3 days. Kabul fell in 3 days. Okay. The government that the United States had set up ran the fuck out of Kabul. They all ran. Like they literally, the proxy government that the US had just bolted.
They knew it was going to happen to them.
They left the capital of Afghanistan to the Taliban, and they left. I mean, it was, oh my God. When I think of the betrayal, when I think of the, like, all of the people involved, like I despise, like I have, like, there's a special place in hell for the Taliban. They are some of the most barbaric fucking beasts I have ever seen. The things that they do to women in the name of Allah is absolutely disgusting.
And children.
The things they do to women and children in the name of Allah is just, it makes my skin crawl. Especially when I heard about Bachabazi. But I'll get to that. But
that's what I was thinking about too. It's really hard to talk about.
So the women are cattle. That women are just the animals that you can abuse. But for your pleasure, you just go full PDA file. Full PDF file. It's just,
yeah, no, it's I don't think most people know. Like, I don't think most people are understand that they don't show this. They don't show this stuff on CNN, MSNBC. So any liberals are still under this, you know, especially ones in the last 10 years that are watching the news and maybe don't know about things we might have learned about 20 years ago after 9/11. Because they got to be so woke, and they can't say anything bad about other cultures, and they can't say anything bad about Muslims.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, not all Muslims are the same. Obviously, not all countries are the same. But in a lot of these countries, they have like child marriages and stuff. And for one thing, and I mean, and Muhammad was married to a 9-year-old.
A 9-year-old.
And he's the leader of the religion, and you know, the founder of the religion. And like you said, that other thing is another whole other weird, very weird, predatory thing. Was it the little boys dancing for him and everything? And then you can use your imagination. But but the thing is, like, well, why is that never mentioned in CNN or MSNBC when you talk about these people? And why is that never mentioned when, like, you let, you know, we talk about mass immigration, especially in Europe, when it's like, maybe we shouldn't let so many people in a country from most countries that maybe are happy to do that. And they just think it's okay. And, you know, maybe the Quran says it's okay. And because Muhammad did it, it's okay. And, you know, maybe you want to be careful with having like a way too many of those people coming in.
Yeah.
But no, it's, you know, you're racist if you say that. You're just full of hate. And it's okay for your country to turn into a Middle Eastern country, basically.
Yeah, because
that's better.
Because white people are are the worst.
And this, so, not just white people, but the West in general. Like anybody the Western Europe, America, Canada, we're just the worst.
I tell you right now, Nick, I hate communism. I hate communism. I hate Marxism in all its forms. When I tell you that communism is a cult, do not let it, folks, if you don't get anything from me, communism is a cult. It is a violent, genocidal cult that has taken 120 million lives.
And nobody knows about that either, by the way.
Countless,
they don't teach that either.
Yes. Listen, James Lindsay talks about the Marxification of education, the Marxification of K through 12. All of this, they march through our educational institutions. They're in the schools.
Not just that, but professional institutions, like they've taken over the medical association, psychology association, journalism schools, any of those things. Obviously the fire department of LA, the education, teaching. It's just like we were just talking about. It's like for some reason everybody's everybody's reason for being is let's make sure we have enough trans lesbians and leadership positions. It's like that shouldn't be any priority at all ever, let alone one of the top priorities. It probably should just never come up because your job in business, your work is so much more important. Like if you're a doctor, if you're a medical association, if you're a psychology association, if you're teaching, setting the agenda for education, it's like that should not be at all what you're thinking about. You should be thinking about like how come we're failing all the time? How come we haven't cured cancer ever? How come things are so expensive in medicine? How come kids are getting dumber? They can't read or do math as well. Why are we sending kids to college to learn stupid shit like this? Radicalize them and then give them 100 to 200K in debt, and then say, oh, it's because it's America and it's racist and it's capitalism, right? It's like, no, it's you fucking piece of shit. Universities, you did that to people. You're the one letting the kids in and be like, no, it's great. You get your gender studies diploma and you're gonna get a great job. It's like, what the fuck? Why would you get a great job? Why would anybody pay you for that?
Listen, in Gramsci's own words, I forget where I saved this and I forgot. I saved this and I forgot where I got it from. But this is I'm just going to read that bottom paragraph. In Gramsci's own words, because all these schools, like the march through the institutions, okay, all of them took the Antonio Gramsci approach. Gramsci, it was an Italian fascist. Okay. Well, he was a socialist. So
were the Nazis, by the way. They're National Socialists. So
exactly, which is still Marxism.
Mm-hmm.
It's a denomination of the main cult.
And even if it wasn't, it's like at that point it becomes the same thing. Like it's the horseshoe theory, right? It's
exactly
like whether it's fascism at its most extreme or communism, socialism at its most extreme. It's like they do the same shit basically. It's like no freedom of speech, one party.
But listen,
imprisoning your political opponents, imprisoning anybody that speaks out, killing anybody that speaks out. The communists were worse though because they're so stupid that they would let people starve too. Like I think at least the fascists figured out how to not let that happen.
Yeah. And what's happening now, and James Lindsay has actually spoken about this. It's like communism and fascism have actually come together.
Yeah.
Fascism is the corporate route, but communism is still like fascism is like the means to like fascism. Like you still have to have business, you still have to have like corporations moving things. Mark Andreessen actually talked about this when he was doing an interview where he talked about how he sat in with people from the Biden administration and they were saying, listen, it was a discussion about AI, and it was like, we're only going to have Biden's people. We're only going to have 3 big companies working with AI that we control. Okay, so there's the state mechanism.
Yeah, it's a marriage of state and corporate world,
exactly.
Which they also did with the social media censorship.
Exactly.
They're like, oh no, we're not censoring anybody. That's against the Constitution. But we'll force Facebook and Jack Dorsey and Twitter and everybody else to do it for us.
We'll deputize. We will deputize social media.
It's the same thing.
Yeah,
exactly. It's fascist.
It is.
And very communist in the way, same thing communists would do.
Mm-hmm.
Same shit.
So Gramsci, and I'm quoting this here. In Gramsci's own words, he viewed the task thus: socialism is precisely the religion that must overwhelm Christianity. In the new order, socialism will triumph by first capturing the culture via infiltration of schools, universities, churches, and the media by transforming the consciousness of society.
Yep, and it also echoes what the KGB guy Yuri Bezmenov said, right? Or
Yes.
Bezmenov.
Bezmenov. Yeah.
He was same thing. He said that they're gonna march to the institutions, like you said, and it's exactly what happened.
That's exactly what happened.
It is. I mean, and it's a frustrating thing, and I know you feel this, is that you say this to people and people think you're crazy. You say this to Democrats and moderates and maybe even conservatives who just don't know about it. There's like Fox News conservatives, they kind of talk about it, and they're just like, what are you talking about? Like, it's not happening. Like, everything's fine. It's just inclusivity. Like, we want to be inclusive of people. It's like, yeah, that makes sense.
Well,
but it is literally what you described. It is literally what's happening. And it is like termites eating away at society and social structures and institutions, so that none of them work. It's totally chaos. It's totally backwards. And there's serious consequences to that. It takes years, if you ever do come back from it. It takes years to come back from it. And I think hopefully we kind of stopped a lot of it. But then you have things that happen like in LA, and that was a lot to do with DEI.
It did.
It was. I'm not saying it was all of it, but boy, is it probably a big part of it. I mean, look who's in charge. Look at the money they wasted on stupid shit that they could have easily paid more firefighters, could have paid for the desalination plants, and could have paid to have that fucking reservoir filled up with water. That should have been the priority. Instead, that lady comes in first day, Crowley or whatever, the LA, the lesbian chief there, the white lady, and she's like, it's like first thing, it was like what Bill Maher said. He had a great segment on it. It's like, it says like our first priority or whatever is to have like more women and people of color or something, and we want to. That was another thing she said, and then in that other segment, he said, what'd she say, that we want to make it a diverse fire department, and then while also exceeding expectations. It's like, no. Like it should be like, hey, our first priority is like, let's not let the city burn down. That's the first priority. That's your job. That's your job. You're not the diversity department. You're the fucking fire department. Fuck me, man. It's like, and this goes throughout institutions. It's like this throughout institutions. It's been like this for years now.
Yeah.
And it's like, and everybody's afraid to speak up about it. They're afraid to speak up because they're gonna get fired, and they're gonna be called a racist or a sexist or a transphobe, or whatever it is.
They'll get their account snatched still. Because listen,
they could be done. Yeah, they could be done in their careers.
YouTube, right? Because guess what? Why do you think so many people are going on to Rumble? People go to Rumble because they go to YouTube and you say the wrong thing, because again, like all of this stuff was deep within big tech, and you say the wrong thing, your account gets snatched, you get demonetized. I don't really have many followers on YouTube, so because I've never used it for anything really except to watch other, like to subscribe. Like it was kind of like an outward thing, but still, it's like, what exactly, like you have to be careful. And it's crazy because the speech, it's like speech was the first thing that these people try to control, then the food, and then a whole bunch of other stuff. Like, it's communism, folks. It is communism. It is Marxism. Stop messing around with these people. I'm going to echo the sentiment of the late great Christopher Hitchens. Resist while you can.
Yep.
We already did. Look, ladies and gentlemen, you already did the hard part by electing Donald Trump. We did the hard part by electing Donald Trump as president. Now we've got a little over 12 hours before he takes office. Okay, got to get him like once that happens, and I pray to God that we can move that we move in this direction, because DEI and all this other Marxist garbage has to be, I say this constantly, communism is a pestilence that must be purged from the earth, period. Marxism must be eliminated from every single institution that we have. At point blank, period. Real quick, before we go any further, Nick, I want to thank the 521 people who are currently watching this.
Oh,
I want to thank each and every one of you, no matter where you're watching. If you're watching it on X, if you're watching it on YouTube, thank you so much for supporting this little project here. Please make sure you follow both of us at Isaiah L. Carter, at Base Latinos.
at Nostra Chavez now. I changed my gimmick.
Oh, you did? You did what?
I changed my name.
Oh, you did?
Nostra Chavez, yeah.
Nostra Chavez.
I'm back out, man. I came out of the closet again.
Make sure you follow Nostra Chavez on X. Listen, this young man, I really appreciate this young gentleman for coming into my life. We're gonna do big things here. But yes, so. But make sure you like, subscribe, and all the usual stuff. If we've earned your subscription, if we've earned your time on here, thank you so much again. We appreciate it.
Yeah, totally. I echo that, man. It's I know you guys could be doing anything right now, and if you're listening to us rant and rave, then we appreciate that. Really do.
Yeah, especially because this is stream of consciousness, baby. We were putting a little bit of structure to this, but we are just ripping. And
this is all inside. We just holding this in all the time. We gotta let it out somewhere.
Yeah, man. So while we've been reflecting on the last 4 years, I've really been wanting to know, who was the president of the United States this whole time?
Yeah, not the answer you think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I said Barack Obama. I think this was Barack Obama's unofficial third term.
That might be right. That's probably. I mean, it seems like we've seen a lot of that in the background, based on the rumors and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to show a video of a portion of an interview that the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, Republican out of Louisiana, he did an interview recently with Bari Weiss, the great Bari Weiss of the Free Press. Great publication, by the way. You should definitely go there and read.
That's where I get most of my news now, man. Only people I can trust.
Hell,
Unheard is good too. Unheard in England. That's a good publication.
Well, Spiked. I like Spiked. They're pretty good. Because the corporate press is done. Corporate press is done. Okay,
RIP,
and I'm gonna show you, and I'm gonna show you an example of it in just a second. But I want to play this. I want to play this interview.
Okay.
Oh wait, hold on. Let me make sure we're set here. And Mike Johnson is talking about the state, like Biden's mental state. Okay.
Oh yeah, Jesus.
Yeah, I'm gonna play a little bit of this, and we'll stop periodically. But yeah, this is Bari Weiss with Congressman Mike Johnson out of Louisiana, the current Speaker of the House.
Okay, let's talk about Biden for a second.
Yeah.
You have said that he is the worst. I actually want to quote this, make sure I get it right. You have said that he is the worst president in the history of this country. Worse even than James Buchanan?
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't say James Buchanan.
No, you didn't say James Buchanan. You said Biden is the worst president in the history of the country.
All right.
With him about to leave office.
Yes.
Do you want to revise that, or do you stand by it?
No, I do stand by it, and I say this without any personal animus at all. I mean, in some ways, I actually kind of feel sorry for Joe Biden. I mean, he's in the twilight years of his life. He is not, obviously, has not been in charge for some time, and I know this by personal observation, and now the whole world knows it, and it's been very, very concerning to me over the last, year and a half since I've had this position. Can
you tell us a story when you say personal observation? What
well,
kind of thing did you see?
It's public now because the Wall Street Journal got it and put it on the front page. But January a year ago, almost exactly a year ago, I had been asked, I became speaker in October 2023, and there were all sorts of big national security concerns and everything going on, and I started requesting a meeting with the president because, you know, I'm kind of old school. I'm a constitutional law guy. The Speaker of the House should be able to talk to the president, especially in times of great national interest and calamity. But they wouldn't let me meet with him, and his staff kept giving me excuses. This went on for like 8 or 9 weeks. I'm sorry, Mr. Speaker, he doesn't have time. What are you talking about? I'm second in line of the presidency. He has time. I need to talk to him. We had, I can't say the classified parts, but we had some big national concerns at the time that I was losing sleep over. Finally, I just went to the Hill Press Corps and I said, the president is not being allowed to meet with the speaker. There's a problem. So they started putting pressure on him. Long story short, they finally relented. They invited me to the White House. I show up and I realize it's actually an ambush because it's not just me and the president. It's also Kamala Harris, Chuck Schumer, Hakeem, you know, the CIA director, everybody. And then, so I walked in the Oval and, oh, I know what this is. They're going to hotbox the speaker on Ukraine funding. That's what it was. This is probably third week of January. We sit down, we're in the midst of it, and the whole conversation, and I'm going, we don't need to have this conversation. The president reaches over just like this. We're sitting right next to the fireplace in the Oval, and he grabs my arm and he says, the speaker and I just need a couple minutes together. Would y'all just leave us alone? And I looked up on the faces of some of the staff standing around the wall, and they're like, oh, no, he did it. So he called it. He's the commander-in-chief. So everybody leaves, and he and I are standing awkwardly in the middle of the Oval Office right over the rug by that coffee table. And I said, Mr. President, thanks for the moments. You know, this is very important. I got some big national security things I need to talk to you about that I've heard and I think you know, and what do we do? But first, real quickly, Mr. President, can I ask you a question? I cannot answer this from my constituents in Louisiana. Sir, why did you pause LNG exports to Europe? Like, I don't understand, you know, liquefied natural gas is in great demand by our allies. Why would you do that? Because you understand, we just talked about Ukraine. You understand you're fueling Vladimir Putin's war machine because they got to get their gas from him, you know. And he looks at me stunned with this, and he said, I didn't do that. And I said, Mr. President, yes, you did. It was an executive order, like, you know, 3 weeks ago. And he goes, no, I didn't do that. And he's arguing with me. I said, Mr. President, respectfully, could I go out here and ask your secretary to print it out? We'll read it together. You definitely did that. And he goes, oh, you talk about natural gas. Yes, sir. He said, no, you misunderstand. He said, what I did is I signed this thing we're gonna conduct a study on the effects of LNG. I said, no, you're not, sir. You paused it. I know. I have the export terminals in my state. I talked to those people this morning. This is doing massive damage to our economy, national security. It occurred to me, Barry, he was not lying to me. He genuinely did not know what he had signed. And I walked out of that meeting with fear and loathing because I thought, we're in serious trouble. Who is running the country? Like, I don't know who put the paper in front of him, but he didn't know.
Well,
Nick, your thoughts on that?
I mean, that's scary. I mean, it's really scary. I mean, they can't understate it. I mean, I know people make jokes about it, and some people, you know, people like, you know, like Rogan and stuff probably said a bunch of times, like, you know, who's really running the White House, stuff like that. So maybe it's become cliche in the podcast sphere, but really, you know, to hear something like that's confirms people's worst fears, that he didn't even know what laws are being signed and how it affects things. He's totally unaware, and he's got a whole group of people around him probably pulling him in every different direction because he doesn't have the energy or wherewithal or the mental capacity to advocate for himself. You know, this is the president of the United States. And somebody else sounds like somebody else is doing his job or he's not somebody who's unelected, somebody who nobody chose. This is the people. These are the saving democracy people, right? I always have to say this. The Democrats are this constantly for years preaching that they're the real democracy defenders, saving democracy, and it's like you have a president that is not really the president. It seems like, at least sometimes, right? He's not really making the decisions. Or people are lying, or people around him are lying about what he's signing, whatever the case may be. Somebody's pulling the strings from behind the scenes, and then after that, after you lied with the media, and the media, by the way, is covering for them. So the media is like state propaganda. So we don't even have a free press necessarily, or we don't have a functioning press besides like Fox News and a few conservative outlets and moderate outlets and like the free press. the publication that is actually doing journalism. So these people are, imagine how corrupt you, this is something people need to remember. Imagine how corrupt you can be if the media is totally covering for you all the time. All of the quote unquote respected media, the New York Times, Washington Post, LA Times, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, if they're all covering for you and those are the respected journalists, NPR, you can do whatever you want. I mean, we already know politicians are always pretty much corrupt. In some way, they're going to be corrupt, right? Pretty much always. In some way, they're going to be doing something to help themselves. Maybe it's not going to be the best for the people. But when you have all journalism covering for you, imagine the damage that could be done. And now we know that also we don't even have that we have all the journalists covering for we don't even know who. We have all the journalists covering for who knows who is pulling the strings behind the scenes. So yeah, this is really egregious. It's really, really egregious. It makes it sound like it makes it sound like we don't have what we were promised of a functioning democracy. We don't have somebody that in charge of the country that we elected. We have somebody he's just a puppet. He's a meat puppet. So this is and think about it. Do you think, again, like just based on what I said with the corruption of the media, it's like, do you think that anybody besides the free press and conservative influencers and journalists are going to talk about this story? Do you think anybody in CNN besides Scott Jennings is going to talk about this story? Is everyone going to get any time? Or are we going to hear about how Trump paid off a porn star for, and how he's a convicted felon? And talk about January 6th every fucking day of our lives. It's absolute horseshit, and it's so corrupt, and it's such a disservice to America and to the world, because America is the most important country in the world, the most influential country in the world, no question about it. So the world is being led by who knows what until Trump's back. But for the last 4 years, that's how it's been. And then when the Democrats are back, do we trust them again? Do we ever trust them Are they going to be back? I don't know. I hope they aren't back. I hope there's something new that pops up that you can trust a little better. Hopefully, that might be opposition, because they have lost all credibility, and the legacy media has lost all credibility.
See, this is particularly hard for me because I supported I've been a supporter of the Democratic Party since about 2009. I fell hard for some propaganda back then, and I became a very fervent believer in the Democratic Party. Okay. And I voted for Obama in 2008. I voted for him again in 2012. I voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016, and I voted for Biden in 2020. To know that, as you said, to know that the party that cannot shut the fuck up about threats to democracy, that is always trying to get people to see things from the alleged standpoint of oppressed people, oppressed minorities. Everything that they've done over the last 4 years has just shown them to be a political cult. These are not serious. Imagine waking up one day and finding out that the party that you've supported for years, that you got into fights with your family over. This shit broke up families, dude. Everything that's happened over the last 4 years and the stuff that happened prior to that, people's lives were upended. In some cases, permanently. I lost a relationship 4 years ago to like within this shit, right? So yeah, I've internalized it a bit because I believe these people.
Mhm.
I believed that Donald Trump was a threat to democracy. I believed it. I believed that that Donald Trump was the worst president in the history of everything. I believed it. You know why? Because all I used to fucking watch was MSNBC and CNN.
Mhm.
I used to get my news from the Washington Post, the New York Times, the Atlantic. I used to respect guys. I used to respect these I used to respect these journalistic outlets. And then to find out, to wake up one day and realize that when they came in, I remember when with the staging and all of the stuff that they put together to make themselves look so competent. The adults were in the room, remember, are back in charge. Remember that?
Yeah, yep.
We were promised.
Look what the adults did to the Palisades, man.
Yeah, they burned the fucking ground. We were promised. I was promised normalcy after the entire country was turned up. Western society was turned upside down. And these people destroyed lives. They destroyed futures. They promised us normal. They advertised normal, but the whole entire time they were trying to put us in a new normal. It's like you wake up one day and you look in the mirror, and then you wake up one day and everything is backwards.
Yeah. Yep, in a lot of ways, that's true.
That's the world we were plunged into. And it's upsetting. It's frightening to me because we have never, at no time in human history, have people become more narcissistic, more selfish, more savage, the way we treat each other. We treat the Democratic Party engendered actual hatred amongst the population. When you listen to MSNBC, you want a great example of how nuts people have become? Just look at Joy Reid. Joy Reid on MSNBC.
She's one of the worst people.
Was one of my very first followers on Twitter, believe it or not.
Really?
Yes. No
were
bullshit.
you were on her side before? Is that when you were back preaching the good word of the left, or was it a hate follow?
I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna show you a picture real quick.
She was following you, or you were following her?
We follow each other.
Oh shit! Still?
I mean, I can't tell you the last time I spoke. I can't tell you the last time I spoke to her.
I'm surprised she didn't block you. I think she blocked me. She's the worst, man. She's one of the worst people on TV.
So I'm going to show you a picture because remember in 2015 was the year in June of that year, I moved up to New York City. Okay. But the year prior to, so like in the first half of the year, in Baltimore, I was living in Baltimore at the time, and the Freddie Gray riots were taking place.
That happened in Baltimore?
That happened in Baltimore.
That's right. Okay.
So when the Freddie Gray riots break out, and hold on a second, and this is 10 years ago. 10 years ago.
There she is.
Yep.
That's before she started culturally appropriating blonde Karen women. Their blonde Karen wig.
It actually, it actually makes me sad. It makes me sad. It does, because I knew her, right? Like she helped me. She tried to help me get into help me try to get into journalism when I was still going to school.
Oh, so you really knew her? Okay, I thought you guys were just following each other on Twitter.
No, dead ass. I knew her. We were in regular contact with each other, and this was 10 years ago, and to see where she's at now. I'm gonna play a video of Joy Reid, because she has a podcast with Jackie Reid. I don't know if this is like her actual cousin. I think she is. I think Jackie Reid is her cousin. But I'm gonna show you like what she looks like now. This is a clip of her of read this, read that, and she's basically going into what leftists used to dog like conservatives over, about election denialism.
Oh,
I don't know if you've seen this. Well, I think I showed you this yet, but I'm gonna play this.
They're even talking about like stealing an election.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's making me rethink whether I do believe like election machines can be hacked. Because I've always been like, you can't hack the election machines, but they're like convincing me, I don't know, maybe you can. I don't know.
She sounds
I mean,
nuts.
to me, in this world, anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
I'm still, I mean, there are all these conspiracy theories out there about Trump and whether or not they cheated. I know you say that they didn't, but I know you kind of have
wait
to
a minute.
say
I
that.
didn't say they didn't. What I said is there is a rational explanation for why Kamala Harris could have lost those
There's nothing
swing states
rational
and
about
Trump
this.
won them. There's a way you can get to those numbers with people staying home or only voting for Trump and not the rest of the ballot. I'm saying there's a history of that. However,
Let me hear it, because
what I will say is there was absolute voter suppression that took place, and I consider that cheating. If you think about the voter law in your state of Georgia, that law is anti-voter. When you have bomb threats only in Fulton,
I can't. I fucking can't. Because she sounds nuts.
She's yeah, man. I mean, she got her mind warped by TDS and wokeness, man. I don't know how she used to be, but she's just the shit that comes out. Everything's just white supremacy. Everything is like bigotry and hatred. Everything on that channel. It's not just her, but she's one of the worst ones. But everything on MSNBC is like, it's just
I can't.
It's like, how many fucking times are you gonna say the same stupid shit?
Because
you
it's
know,
great.
Do you really think? So you really think the fucking Latino and Black population, such big swings in percentage of voters, and Asian people, for example, Indian, Asian people, Far East Asian people in America that voted so heavily in conservative, at least pretty decent percentage wise, they're just all rooting for white people. That's why they did it.
Well,
what the fuck are you thinking?
I'm gonna say this. One, it goes back to this, okay, and it'll make sense when
like fucking string toys. Pull the string. Pull the string.
Just watch. Now think of it this way. This type of shit, this repetition.
Yes, yeah, it's like a
mantra chanting,
like brainwashing.
Okay, it is brainwashing. Mm-hmm. It is brainwashing.
Remember those tweets you'd see, like trans women are women, trans women are women, trans women, like 18 times in a tweet. Those things made me sick seeing that. It's like, what are you a fucking child, man? What are you doing?
And you would see Human Rights Campaign put those out. You would see all of these different.
Say her name. Say her name. Say her name. It's like, shut the fuck up, man.
That's what it is. It's cult.
Good Lord.
It's cult programming, because it's a chant. When you go in and the first thing you hear out of Joy Reid's mouth and all these other people, I know another one breaks my heart. I knew him 10 years ago and he's a different man now. And when you just hear like even former quote unquote conservatives like Joe Scarborough and former Lieutenant Governor of Maryland Michael Steele.
Fucking Michael Steele.
When you're bathed in this shit, when you're bathed in critical consciousness and you repeat the same things over and over and over and over again, and you live it and you work and live in a political silo where everyone talks and sounds like you, to the point where if anyone says something different, you go off on them and you're ready to cancel them, murder them, or whatever. That's where we're at. Politics should not be a cult. You should not have to turn your supporters into cult members. That's what makes the Democratic Party so dangerous to me right now, because they are literally driving their voter base insane. I talked about this. And I discussed this. Yeah, and Paul says these people are the lifeblood of the Democratic Party. You're right. You're absolutely right.
You know, a lot of it goes to, I want to say real quick before I lose this thought, a lot of it goes back to the fact, I think, the Democrats, the left right now, and I guess they have been like this for a long time, because, socialism, communists and socialists are atheists usually. And I think one of the reasons why they're very cult-like is because they've totally denied religion for the most part. I think they're definitely the most atheist party, right? Like they fucking celebrate abortion like crazy. And, I understand why there's some reasons why women would get abortions and stuff. So I'm not really, I'm not necessarily, I'm pro-choice in a lot of, in certain ways. But to be celebrating it, to be having it like abortions in front of the DNC, it's like, and just those sort of things. And then on top of, like you said, like the cult like aspect of anti-racism, that basically is kind of infected MSNBC and the left in a lot of ways, and the white fragility weird shit, which is similar. The gender stuff is definitely a cult. It's basically a spiritual belief in the sense that like you can have like, either it means you can have like a female brain and a male body, or a female soul in a male body.
That's what it is. Yeah.
And it's
not,
and it's like, how are you going to feel? How are you going to, what are you talking about? I thought you guys were like atheists for the most part. Everything's just materialism. Everything is science. Trust the science. We're all going to die one day. Who gives a shit? Doesn't matter. Nothing matters. But that is a big difference between the sides, I think, and probably across the world, at least in the West, I should say, not necessarily the world, that the left is definitely more like totally materialist, totally like I'm God, I am the most important thing in the world. Like you said, very narcissistic, very focused on yourself. And the right is more likely to have some kind of either religion or spirituality that is, transcendent. It's like, I'm not the most important thing in the world. I'm going to be held accountable for my actions one day, where most people would probably believe that on the right, I think, or at least if they're like a traditional conservative. And that helps you, I think, keep humility. It helps you keep perspective. It helps you keep your morality to a degree. Of course, there's plenty of Christians and Jews and Muslims and whatever that are sinners and done terrible things. Of course, there's plenty of hypocrites. Everybody are hypocrites. But the left is just like godless now. And like you said, like everybody is, they have a strange morality where nothing matters, who cares? Let's just be OnlyFans hoes. Let's just destroy everything. Let's steal whatever we want. Who cares? Let's just, if we kill somebody, we kill somebody. Who gives a shit? As long as it's not like a marginalized person.
So yeah, exactly.
It's like you can see that throughout, like in their culture, the media, the movies, the books, all of it are just like soulless, terrible. The music's soulless. They're anti-family, they're anti-marriage, they're anti-having children. Their pets are their kids, all that shit. It goes on and on and on, and it's like. Mm-hmm. It's not good. It's not good for society. It's not good for society to be so individualistic and so narcissistic. If you go against societies that are religious, like a lot of Muslim countries or like even communist China, which is like a religion in itself, and everybody is super absorbed in that and dutiful. Like it could be hard to compete against people who are like, they have a higher calling, they feel like, and they're going to work together and they're going to be unselfish. And then we're all just all over the place. Everybody just wants to be an influencer. Like that's everybody's job. And it's just like, we're totally out of control in that way. And it's, I think we need to come back to some kind of like, we need to have a transcendent understanding of that there's probably something beyond us, have some kind of spirituality and have some humility and bind together around that, some kind of religious, whether it's Christianity or whatever your religion is, but just have that with a certain morality and have a community and also believe in America, believe in our culture and our traditions, our history, our constitution, and kind of have some accountability for that, have some respect for that, for our history, and for trying to help each other out and be responsible for each other, be brave, stand up for our freedoms, that for the truth. We've been taken over by a number of secular bizarre religions that are kind of offshoots of Marxism, as you've been saying. They're kind of like they're the messed up grandchildren of Marxism.
Well, Marxism is the religion. Okay, Marxism is this is what I've said. You've seen me say this a lot, and I even got James Lindsay, who actually I want to just a quick shout out to him because he's going through it right now with a particular
the woke right stuff.
Well, that
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know the
that,
YouTuber.
and there's something else, and I'll tell you.
We'll talk off.
Yeah, we'll talk off air.
But James done a lot of great work.
James Lindsay, I've said this, and I'm gonna keep saying it. James Lindsay has not been wrong about much of anything. Without him, without James, I would not know nearly as much as I do about communism. So shout out to James Lindsay.
He had a good seminar or like a good speech. I think it was like a half-hour speech or something about like why this stuff is like communism, Marxism.
Yeah,
and it was very compelling.
So this is what I've said. Okay, communism is the religion of the self made manifest by the state. What do I mean by that? Well, most people who are communists, I would say all people who are communists, are very much inwardly directed. Okay, they always try to get people. They're always trying to get people to see things within the dynamics of power, because they want to take power. They want people fighting amongst themselves so that they can take power and use it for their own political ends. So that's what I mean when I say communism is the religion of the self. Now, how is it made manifest by the state? Well, just look at the priorities of the fucking people who take power. Here in New York City, for the last several years, and yes, and even in other big cities like Baltimore, where I was born and raised, bike lanes. You've got bike lanes, all these plastic stanchions, street closings, all of these quote unquote, streets are for everyone, and streets are for people, they'll say, but the only people that they're really trying to that they're trying to please are themselves. But they want to externalize it and make it so that everybody else likes it. But really all we're doing is we're just dealing with the shit that that these people have put into our lives. So bike lanes, street closures, all of this stuff that no one else was concerned about. Nobody wanted until you assholes showed up, and now we've got it. That's how the state that's how the state is made manifest, but within this cult of the self. It's despicable. It's honestly despicable. And I like when as I see all this stuff going on, and like I said, I hate what communism has done in terms of how we treat each other, in terms of how we view one another. We see each other like character does not matter. Again, I go back to my mirror analogy, where you wake up one day, you are still you know what's a good movie that gives a that actually illustrates this, I think? Tenet. The movie Tenet, where you have certain people, it's directed by Christopher Nolan, my favorite director, where the protagonist, John David Washington, he's moving forward. It's like it's a movie about time, like time paradoxes, right? So he's moving forward, but then there are people who are actually moving backward. There's even a scene in the movie where the main villain is screaming at John David Washington, at the protagonist, right? That's the actual name of the character. He's screaming at him, but he's speaking backwards.
Interesting.
You you should watch it. Tenet is tough to follow.
I did see it once. It was a little tough to follow. I might have also been stoned, so I don't know. But
no, but no bullshit. That movie,
but it's good. I love Christopher Nolan. He's my favorite director too right now.
That
at
movie,
at least in the last 20 years.
That movie I think it best illustrates where we've been over the last several years. Everybody's moving forward, but then we've got these other people who are trying to control us, who are speaking a different language. They're moving in a different direction than us. They hate us because we're doing well. Okay. You know, society has progressed a certain way. They want to actually go backwards. And so we're stuck with them and their inwardly directed bullshit.
It's super unwise. The way they move, the things they want to implement. It's a lot of it, especially in recent, last decade or so. The wokeness and stuff it's the opposite of wisdom. What wisdom has taught us. It's the opposite of what religious wisdom has taught us. Virtue philosophy, virtue ethics, you name it. We totally got rid of the idea of like virtues, kind of in a lot of ways, like a character. Like we used to, I think, in the 50s and before, we used to have like, hey, you got to be, tell the truth and be brave and be courteous and all this stuff, and to have it, your civic duty. You should have your civic duty. You should have civics courses. All these things have been taken away, where kids aren't even really taught about history anymore so much, and if they are, now it's taught in the lens of like, we suck, we're terrible. This is like the whole of our American history is like, we killed Native Americans, we had slavery, we dropped some atomic bombs. We didn't let women
never
vote.
Talking about the good things.
Yeah, we didn't let women vote or something. It's all this stuff, and it's like, okay, that's really what we're gonna focus on the whole time. It's like it's like, yeah, we could talk about, not say we can't talk about that stuff, but it's like the wise thing to do, and I think the honest thing to do too, but the wise thing to do for your own country, your own culture, especially if it's not a terrible culture, it's not a terrible, it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. Like, at least, and it still is pretty good compared to most countries, even though it's definitely has some serious flaws now. But it's like, think about your life. How bad is it really to live in America? Like, how did you ever have to get arrested for saying the wrong thing? Did you ever, do you usually have cops like just pulling you over randomly and checking you and stuff? Like, I don't know. Some people probably have different experiences, but most of the time the cops don't bother you too much. Exactly. Shit like that. So it's like, that's not the way it is in a lot of other countries, outside of the West. So it's like,
it certainly isn't.
People have no idea about these things, and instead they're just taught through this, Marxist lens of history, and way to look at things is like, we live in like the worst empire ever, and it's everything is due to colonialism and raping poor brown people and just taking all their resources. And it's like, okay, is that really what happened, or is the whole world, for the most part, have benefited and have been enriched and fed and they aren't dying from certain diseases they used to die from and have maybe clean water? Most of the world can get a lot of these things, access to these things, partly because of technology and the generosity of the West. And a lot of times, exactly. Now that doesn't mean we definitely still, the West still exploits other countries, but another thing is every country does that. Every country exploits everybody, like, to a degree. And like, even those own countries, the reasons why there's a lot of times they're so poor is because their own leaders just hoard all the money. They don't incentivize innovation. They're super corrupt. Like those countries, so many of those countries in Latin America, I'm sure in Africa and Asia, some of those countries are some and in Europe as well are super corrupt, right? And now corruption has really been creeping into our country as well, and in the West as well, in different ways, but especially because of journalism not doing its job.
Yeah.
But anyways, like that's just, all of that has just been it's a spirit destroying destructive narrative for kids that grow up with. And it's like, why would they want to defend their country if they have to? Why would they want to innovate and be great if like great men are going to be canceled because they said one wrong thing 30 years ago or something, or when they were a teenager they said something stupid on social media? But let's just hide out, just be just don't try to. That's another thing, man, about this whole thing. You notice that there's been this whole cancel culture stuff has been a way to keep, especially men, from trying to do great things, sticking their neck out. You know what I mean? It's been about like, don't try anything, don't get famous, and don't say the wrong thing. Don't say anything that's anti-liberal or anti-democrat, because if you do, we'll just have to look at your old tweets. We'll have to ask some people what you did when you were fucking 18 years old, one time at a party drunk or something, or, it's like, people aren't perfect. People do stupid shit when they're young. But it's like, what about all the great things they did? What about the great things they can do? But people are going to be too scared to stick their neck out and do something great. And that is not good. We need to celebrate. We have to celebrate great people, whoever they are. And we have to, because that's one of the reasons why people do things. Otherwise, we're just going to be stuck and stagnant and fall apart. You need to continue to innovate and make things better and fix things always. Yeah, entropy is constant.
Yes, it is. And that's the thing. Like, America has become, Western culture really has become very risk averse, afraid to defend itself, afraid to stand on business, like they say, and it's all like I said, the way that we treat each other. I've told this story before about, this is a great example of what people are willing to accept. Also, check the message in the chat.
Yeah.
And so I was playing ball a couple of years ago. I get on a 4 train to head back to Brooklyn. And the car that I was in, the train car I was in, had a decent amount of people, had like a good amount of people in it. And there's a pile of human shit in the middle of the floor. And everybody's just sitting around, not just unbothered. Just totally unfucking bothered. So I stopped the train. So I tell the conductor, and I tell everybody in the car, like, what is this? Last week, matter of fact, today, I'm on the train, and I see this guy who's got his headphones on, and I'm on a 4 train heading into downtown Brooklyn. This guy is rolling. He's rolling up like in a corner on the subway car, rolling his weed or whatever the fuck it was, because it certainly didn't smell like weed. But like this but it's just this antisocial behavior. People smoking on the train, like you're hotboxing a whole fucking train car, and everybody's trying to get home.
Yeah. So
and everybody and like instead of anybody saying, stand up and be like, yo, like yo, my man, what the fuck are you doing? They just sit and take it.
Yeah.
Because they know, because it's like they know that if they say something either to that person, they're gonna get into some type of altercation. Or if they do what especially the people who smoke, if they do something like, oh, I don't know, kick him in the fucking face, then you're the one who's going to go to jail for assault. Because we live in a day and age where the criminals are protected more than everyday people.
Yeah.
And that's and it's just it's bad. Like Paul says just real quick, he's like, he's like, all cultures have been degraded with woke. And he says gay culture, black culture, Hispanic culture, nerd culture. With blacks, it's BLM shit. With gays, it's drag queen everything. With Latinos, it's narco and immigration, etc. I mean, I guess you could speak to that.
No, that's true.
But remember what I said earlier about how like people like the Democratic Party's voter base is literally insane, and how the Democratic Party just seems to have one thing in mind, and that is to draw as many people into the cult as possible. We got to talk about this. The 28th Amendment. First off, ladies and gentlemen, it is 12:11 a.m. So we are now less than 12 hours until President Trump is sworn in, continuing to pray for his safety.
What time is that going to be? Yes. What time is that? 9, 10 a.m.?
12:01 p.m. is when he officially becomes president. Got to get him. Like, listen, we just
protect him, man. Protect that man, dude.
Lord, protect that man at all costs. Keep
and liberals better pray for that too, man. The ones that were like joking or actually hoping that he gets killed, they're crazy because like even if you're like happy to have Trump killed because you think he's like literally Hitler or whatever, it's like you don't like the country's going to be in such chaos after that, and hatred, so much hatred is going to be spilling out and violence. So everybody should be praying that like the duly elected next president of the United States, stays safe, does his full term, and then we'll see who's elected next.
But I got one for you.
Go ahead.
I got one of them for you.
Okay.
This fucking guy right here. Yeah. Just listen.
Here we go.
I know that you're probably not going to listen to this, or you're not going to understand it because you're going to be too distracted by my nose ring. As much as I can't stand you guys, and I really can't fucking stand you people, to see the worst things done to you would probably fill me with joy. But I just want to say that if you are in DC right now, you might not want to be. For a party that votes on feelings, I'm feeling like it's not safe there. And I feel like you of all people should understand how that feels. But anyways, get out of DC.
I don't know the fuck he was talking about there. That's pretty fucking incoherent, first of all. But geez, it's a threat. Is that a veiled threat or?
That's a very veiled threat.
What a fucking douche.
I mean, a veiled threat. That's
such intolerant bullshit, man.
That is your typical Democrat now. That is your new Democrat.
Hope not, man.
No, I'm telling you, it is. I'm telling you right now, that thing is the new is exactly the kind of person the Democratic Party wants. They do not want, if you must be pro if you're not pro identity, if you are pro identity, your identity must revolve around the Democratic Party. Bottom line, that's where they're at. Okay, Sonny Johnson has said this on several occasions, and people are repeating it. When it comes to black folk, okay, an independent thinking black man is the scariest fucking thing to some of these leftists. Okay, they don't know what to do with a guy like me. They don't know what to do with a guy like you. Okay. And what ends up happening is, and Sonny Johnson says this, these people are not, in this particular context I'm speaking, they're not pro-black, they're pro-Democrat.
Right. Sure.
That
100%.
that white boy.
Well, they hate conservative black guys.
They do.
They openly hate them.
And they're very, very, listen, I have come to when it comes to racism, I have a theory, because black folk, if you talk to we're 13% of the population, right? If you talk to most black people, black Americans, okay, and they get to talking about like some of the racism that the quote unquote racism that they've experienced, I am convinced that most of these people, they love, and a lot of them love talking about, they love talking shit about rednecks and the KKK and all, like your rural whites, right? They love talking about them. I am convinced that because most black people live in cities, the only contact that they've had with a racist white person, that racist white person voted Democrat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Those
like
people
you're dealing with a white leftist that already doesn't like you. Okay, most likely, and I've seen this all the time here in New York City, in some of these affluent neighborhoods like Williamsburg, Park Slope, and some of these other places. Big black. I am 6'3". I'm the size of a defensive tackle. Okay. They look at me and they clutch their fucking purse. And then they go and vote for Kamala Harris. That's the type of racist white person that I am convinced black people deal with on a regular basis. But because the majority of black people are so hopelessly wedded to the Democratic Party, they keep voting for them. Because the Democratic Party have convinced black people that they are the only ones who care about them.
I think black people are starting to wake up to that shit, though, man.
There is a cultural shift, but I'm telling you, it's.
But yeah, most of them probably are still with black people. The Democrats cling on to black people, so hard, but I don't know that they do too much for them.
Well, they don't.
Yeah,
they don't. All they
especially
do is
now, I don't think they give a shit at all. They just talk about it. They just name drop, race drop, but they don't do shit for black people.
I can't tell you,
anybody.
Bro.
They don't even talk about Latinos anymore because they know Latinos are a lot more conservative than they would have thought.
Well, you were supposed to be. Well, no, you were supposed to be. Y'all were supposed to be the slave class, the new slave class. Okay, what do I mean by that? Y'all, cheap help, door dashers, Uber Eats delivery people.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what you Spanish speaking motherfuckers should have. That's what y'all were supposed to be, okay? You go to the fucking wash and fold, and you got a lady in there that don't speak English, okay? No habla inglés, and no. That's how the Democratic Party want their voters, okay?
Yeah, and I think they want the immigrants. They got they want the immigrants there because they're like, oh, remember, we're the ones that let you in, so you don't even need a green card. You don't
That
need
was
anything.
the whole
You know,
scheme.
yeah.
That was the dude here in
But
New
they
York
don't
City.
realize that. That's why I finished. They don't like. These are very stupid people, though. Like the Democrats are very, very dumb. They're like you said. Like I said, they're fucking the woke ideology. They really think that everybody is going to be Democrat and left leaning if they're not white, for example, like because they really do think, I guess most of them, they really do think that like everything is white supremacy and everybody's oppressed by white people. And they think everybody believes that. And they think that they're just going to go along with anything that's left leaning, anything that's Democrat. And it's like, they don't know shit about Latino culture. Like especially Latin America, like they're all have their own differences and stuff, but those could be they like their politics, like leftist, like old Marxist leftist politics, like worker rights, stuff like that. They have that definitely, but they can be very traditional, very religious, very against abortion. They're not the most. Latino people, especially from other countries, are not necessarily the most LGBTQ friendly. Latino people are definitely not. Especially from Latin America, like American gringo Latinos, who knows how they are half the time, but foreign Latinos, like they are not far from woke. Usually, they're very offensive with their jokes, and I'll say the same for for the black community. I went to like almost all black high school, so like 60% black, like 30-40% Latino. Like I was called white boy all the time. That's what I was called. You know what I mean? So I got white racism and shit. But they were cool. Everybody was cool. But these are not woke people. Like their sense of humor is very offensive. Like they're saying racist jokes all the time. They're saying gay jokes. They're saying sexist jokes. You name it. Like it would make the woke fucking people's heads spin. Like they would all be canceled. And Latino people are the same. Like do you know that if there's an Asian person or a person who looks Asian, they call him Chino. That's his nickname. That forever. If
it's like Jamaicans.
If it's a black guy, if there's a one black guy, or even if he's not black, he's just pretty dark, they'll call him Negro. That's his nickname for the rest of his fucking.
That's like Jamaicans.
Yeah, and that's not even racist. That's not even racist. It's just a little nickname. It's not a big deal.
Dude, I've learned like in Jamaican culture, okay, if they don't know your name, they will do one of two things. They'll either give you a nickname according to what you do,
or look like,
or like me, they'll be like, oh, that big man.
Yeah.
Like, like one big man. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Yeah. And it's not a fucking big deal. It's not a big deal. Nobody gives a shit.
Look, like, hear me out a second. When I went to Jamaica with my now fiance last year, there's a guy who did all like the electrical wiring in the house and her parents' property down there. I don't know this man's name. I don't even know if my fiance knows or her parents. I don't think anybody knows his name. But you know what? They call him? Electro.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Electro. That's his name. Electro.
That's a good nickname. Like Spider-Man's the villain, Electro. Yeah.
But hold on a second. That brother does very good work. Shout out to Electro.
He's probably getting paid too.
Oh, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
Those guys are making money, man. Electricians, plumbers, HVAC guys are making paper, man. They're doing well. And they don't have the loans either to pay. So props to them. So 28th Amendment. Yeah, let's get to the 28th.
Yeah, the 28th Amendment. This bullshit.
I'm confused about this. What was he doing, man? What did he really think that he just made that happen by declaring it? I saw a speech where he said like a bunch of states ratified it or some shit, something like that.
It was. I'm so confused as to. Matter of fact, let me pull it up. Let me pull this up.
It might be too late for this shit, man. Because this is like a head scratcher. This is like a fucking Chinese riddle, man. Like I don't know what he was thinking. And I'm not a constitutional lawyer, so I don't know. Is that the way it's done? Like
No. Far from it. Far from it. In fact, according to hold on a second. According to this fucking guy. So hold on a second. I'm gonna share the tab and now I'm gonna bring it up. Okay. So this asshole goes, today I'm affirming what I've long believed and what 3/4 of the states have ratified. The 28th Amendment is the law of the land, guaranteeing all Americans equal rights and protections under the law, regardless of their sex.
Come on, this is what you got to do. You got to ratify. You got to ratify the amendment,
shit.
guys. Come on.
The President Biden declares the Equal Rights Amendment is now the law of the land. Get fucked.
Is this like King? Thank you, King Biden.
Thank you, King Biden. But
Appreciate you.
Here's the thing, okay? The process for constitutional amendments does not involve the President of the United States at all. At all.
I don't know where he's coming from. I don't get the logic behind this. Like it's
the national, and so look at the community.
They should have never gave him back his Twitter account, man. Like they must let Joe take it over again. Like, yeah, you can take it again.
So I'm reading the community note here. The National Archivist, who was responsible for enrolling new amendments, has stated that the Equal Rights Amendment has not been lawfully ratified, citing a legal opinion drafted by the Biden Justice Department's Office of Legal Counsel in 2022, confirming this position. So you're telling me...
What is going on, man?
So you're telling me in 2 years...
Did somebody play a prank on him?
Yeah.
Was that Kamala? Maybe Kamala took his phone and just to fuck him one last time. Like I don't get, and this is so bizarre.
Not only is it
imagine
bizarre,
if Trump did this.
Oh, he'd be screaming his fucking head
Media
off.
would be talking about it for like 4 days straight at least.
So Paul. So I will say this: Paul is a lawyer. Okay.
There you go, Paul. Come on.
He says,
let us know.
Virginia ratified the ERA a few years ago, but 40 years past deadline.
Oh, come on. Who needs a deadline, man? It's still good.
Plus a couple. Oh, he doesn't. Sorry about multiple messages. Don't know how to do paragraphs here. Paul, you're fine. You're fine, sir. Thank you.
I'm sick of seeing your messages, man.
No, Paul.
I'm just kidding, man.
Paul, you're good. Thank you.
Thank you for messaging.
Appreciate that. We need this. We
need somebody to be in there.
Yes. And listen, we've got 773 people in here who are watching. I don't know if that's like I don't know how many concurrent that is, but again, thank God for all of you. Really appreciate it. Thank you. But no, the 28th, but that didn't stop. That did not stop this fucking guy from going in. Cause homeboy went and did, and not long after this, he went and did this.
Throughout my career, I've been clear. No one should be discriminated against based on their sex. And in order for the amendment to be ratified, it requires 3/4 of the states to ratify it. That benchmark was passed when Virginia ratified the ERA a few years ago. Today, I affirm the Equal Rights Amendment to have cleared all the necessary hurdles to be added to the U.S. Constitution now. The Equal Rights Amendment is the law of the land now. It's the 28th Amendment to the Constitution now. I consulted dozens of constitutional scholars to make sure that it was all within the power to do this. And the fact is, we did. And
get your fucking...
I'm about to shit my pants now.
Get your fucking... right. Get fucked, you fucking dictator. Get fucked. All right?
He is out to lunch, man.
How fucking dare you? The last thing, fuck you, Joe Biden. Seriously. Fuck you.
So I'm so confused.
Hold on a second. No, the fact that this guy just out of thin air, just out of thin fucking air, decided, oh, I'm gonna ratify, I am going to declare a 28th Amendment when you have absolutely nothing to do. The President of the United States does not have anything to do with constitutional amendments at all. It is strictly something that is done by the legislative branch. Either
So
by
that's so embarrassing, man. That's embarrassing. So like so did anything legal actually happen that he's reporting on? Something new, some new development, or is he just he's just confused?
This is just something brand new.
Is he just confused and he just bragged? He just humble bragged to everybody.
Humble brag. You're like, yeah.
I did it now. I did it. And he didn't do anything.
No, he didn't do anything.
It's actually kind of funny. It's sad and it's kind of funny.
Yeah. So yes. So there is no 28th Amendment. There's absolutely, ladies and gentlemen, there is no such thing as the 28th Amendment. Okay. I'm going to read this. This is the statement, fake news. And just this week, you were complaining about there not being enough fact checking of social media posts. So, oh, come on. Why can't I pull this up? Okay. All right. So here we go. I'm going to read this. Okay. Statement on the Equal Rights Amendment ratification process. Media alert. Archivist of the United States, Dr. Colleen Shogan, and Deputy Archivist William J. Basenko released the following statement today, on December 17th of 2024, on the Equal Rights Amendment and the constitutional responsibilities for administering the ratification process. As archivist and deputy archivist of the United States, it is our responsibility to uphold the integrity of the constitutional amendment process and ensure that changes to the Constitution are carried out in accordance with the law. At this time, the Equal Rights Amendment cannot be certified as part of the Constitution due to established legal, judicial, and procedural decisions. In 2020 and again in 2022, the Office of Legal Counsel of the United States Department of Justice affirmed that the ratification deadline established by Congress for the equal rights of the ERA is valid and enforceable. The OLC concluded that extending or removing the deadline requires new action by Congress or the courts. Court decisions at both the district and circuit levels have affirmed that the ratification deadlines established by Congress for the ERA are valid. Therefore, the Archivist of the United States cannot legally publish the Equal Rights Amendment.
But it's published now.
Right, exactly.
We did it now.
Do you understand? Like seriously.
Oh, boy.
Seriously.
We're gonna miss those gaffes, huh?
Oh, no. See, here's the thing. Here's why I'm especially ticked about this. Okay? Because like lemmings,
everybody was celebrating it.
Everybody was. Oh yeah.
I think I missed it. I missed it.
Yeah.
I don't even see him on X anymore.
Paul said, "Who wrote that tweet? Annie, Ashley, or Anthony?"
we should pull up some screenshots from Bluesky. I'm sure they were going nuts on there.
Bluesky.
Yeah. Good old Bluesky.
Oh, like, oh my God, this is great.
Oh,
you did it,
bro!
So brave.
Matter of fact, hold on, because I don't think I tore into anybody nearly as much as I tore into. Hold on.
Yeah, I missed a lot of the response to this. So the left was going nuts and they're happy about it. They got some big W.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm looking up. Yeah, so I'm looking up.
Oh boy.
Hold on. Yeah, so I oh my God, I went off. Hold on. So Tammy Duckworth, who was just screaming at Pete Hegseth and all these other ones. Hold on, I'm gonna show you this.
Oh,
you ready? Here you go. 1, 2, 3. So news. President Biden officially recognized the Equal Rights Amendment as the 28th Amendment to our Constitution. This, matter of fact, hold on. Let me make sure I do it. President Biden officially recognized the Equal Rights Amendment as the 28th Amendment to our Constitution. This is a major victory for women, more than 50 years in the making. Are you fucking kidding me?
That's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing. I said the president, and this is what I said. The president of the United States has no authority to do so. The executive branch cannot make law just because he says so. And the fact that you, a member of the legislative branch, as a senator, would engage in this shrill, nonsensical dog shit is beneath the seat you hold. There is no 28th Amendment, period. And then I followed up with, the president does not have a constitutional role in the amendment process. And you people are pushing this 28th Amendment foolishness as some incontrovertible fact. Why? There was never a process for this, dude.
Man, Biden, man. He's always been a liar, man. He's been a liar since like the 80s too, right? Wasn't he lying about his university school accolades, and he graduated top of his class and some other shit. I think he even lied about where he went to school, and he's still got that in him, man.
Yeah,
I think he just lied. He's just like,
yeah. So
I'll get one more W on the way out.
Right, I got one more in me.
Nobody's gonna look into this. No, the media's not gonna check me. So
then here goes Kamala Harris. Kamala, you know, this drunken retard goes, equality is a fundamental promise of our democracy. That is why the Equal Rights Amendment belongs in our Constitution. It makes our nation stronger, and it is the law of the land because the American people have spoken in states across our nation.
She really made a statement? Oh my God, dude.
That's her statement, bro.
America's wine mom over here.
America's
I just spilled my drink on my shirt.
She's not even a wine mom. She's a wine stepmom, bro.
Oh, she's a wine cat lady.
She's no.
Does she have a kid?
Have you seen Doug Emhoff's kid?
Oh, she had Doug's kids.
Yeah.
How'd she know she never had kids?
Oh shit! Here's Paul. He said Bluesky creamed their pants over the 28th Amendment announcement. As matter of fact, hey Paul, if you're still here, and well, yeah, you're still here. Listen,
Paul's our official Bluesky correspondent.
You're gonna be our Bluesky correspondent, okay? And whatever
send over quotes,
whatever you get. Like we need screenshots. Okay. All the screenshots that you could provide of Bluesky. Yeah, we need all of them. All right. Biden has been and Paul finished up. He says Biden has been a serial fabulous for decades, which is true.
Yeah, yep.
50 fucking years in
you have to be. Honestly, you have to be
50 fucking years in politics. 5 decades in politics, and this is how you go out.
5 decades of bullshit, man. You live by the bullshit, you die by the bullshit.
Live by the bullshit, die by the bro. All of this Like, what are we doing?
That's
what
crazy.
are you doing?
That's crazy. That's just, and the media, I bet you I wonder if they even talked about it. They probably mentioned it on CNN for like a minute and just changed the subject. Said, well, Trump did something like this too. And then like, that's it,
So this is remember how we talked about, is this still on? So remember how we talked about how Democrats have lost all credibility?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm gonna show you another way. Jimmy Dore. You got to, yeah, I'm gonna show you this. Okay. Because Jimmy Dore is a raging fucking leftist. Okay. A raging leftist. Like this guy, like, I would honestly say that this dude could, Jimmy Dore he's damn near communist. He's not a communist, I don't think, but he's damn near one.
Is he like a big critic of the Democrats though?
He became such, yeah.
Because for some reason I had him in, I didn't really listen to him too much, but I had him in like a conservative category.
He got injured by the vaccine.
Oh, that'll change it.
Yeah, he got injured by the coof, by the clot shot.
By the Fauci ouchie.
Yeah, by the Fauci ouchie. So he says here, Trump is doing things Democrats would have done without hesitation when I was a kid. He stood by Union longshoremen, forced a ceasefire to stop a genocide, and now he's saving the fucking whales. This shows you how horrible the Democrats have gotten, that Trump can show them up this easily. What is he referring to? Victory. Michael Schellenberger. Shout to Schellenberger, because that guy, Schellenberger, saved a lot of lives out in
1,000%.
He saved a lot of lives out there in San Francisco when he wrote about San Francisco, and then he interviewed people actually on out there who were living in the streets of San Francisco. So
and he's the man, and he's similar story to us, man. Former lefty, former liberal. Same with Chris Rufo, I think too. Former lefty.
Mm-hmm.
And then
now
truth hits you at some point.
Yeah, man. So I'm just gonna play this real quick. It's only a minute.
1,000%. That is the boat.
Let's bring it to Dead Stop. I saw another whale had washed up. It's becoming a pattern. Is it the windmills? Is it the pounding of the seafloor? How many whales is it going to take?
There aren't many places where the North Atlantic right whale can go. It's destined to extinction.
It sounds like they're like on some pile driving.
What the United States is looking at.
They're in the water.
Thousands of wind turbines in an area that our whales, our dolphins, our marine life, where they live, where they migrate, where they breed. It's only when they started going into the wind lease areas that we believe that the whales are dying.
So those red dots are whale deaths.
Precisely.
What a scandal.
Is that Long Island I just saw?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that was happening over here.
Neither did I.
The right whales, huh? Wow.
Right whales, yeah. Here. But again, it's like...
God, everything they do fucking goes the opposite of what they say it's going to be.
Because they're Lysenko, because it's Lysenkoism. Look up, seriously, ladies and gentlemen, and I mean this. Go look up Trofim Lysenko. Okay? Look up the shit that he did. He was a Russian he was a scientist, and he literally believed that he could teach plants communism.
Oh.
And the things that he did to the food supply in Russia and the Ukraine, the Soviet Union.
Is a Holodomor? Is that him?
That's exactly what he caused.
Oof, that's not a good thing on your resume.
Yeah, Trofim Lysenko. Look that up. I know it doesn't have anything to do with what we're talking about, but in terms of how far the left has fallen.
Oof. And they're the science people. They're the experts, apparently.
The experts, right.
Trust the experts.
Right. But this is what happens when, again, like, this is honestly why I'm so despondent about the left. because this is what they fucked everything up so badly when they didn't have to.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
these are the people
story is old
the,
as this, like 120-year-old story at least.
Like they're the experts.
These are the Soviets experts. Did it. Mao did it, and Castro did it. Did he do the same shit with their agriculture too? He fucked that up too by making people switch jobs or something like that.
Something like that.
I think he did that. And like a lot of them, I think he
Cambodia was like that too.
Cambodia as well. I think Castro made like the engineers become farmers or some shit like that. And it's like, they don't know what they're doing. And then and they actually almost starved, and I think Russia had to come and give them food, which is, you're in a bad situation when you're asking for the Soviets for food.
Yeah.
But the Soviets would help them out because they use them, they want them as an asset, and I guess they liked them because they're right next to America and stuff. But it's they just constantly, just like the left today, they're wishful thinking, man. It's like things they think, the old quote, like, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And I know sometimes for them it's good intentions. They think they're going to fix something, but they can't do it with, their imagination. They don't take into account science. They don't take into account all the different things. I think it's too much work for them or something. It's like It's like, I don't want to think that hard. Let's just try it. Let's just spend billions of dollars on it, and let's just kill a bunch of whales. Let's just starve millions of people, because it sounds like it'll work. Why doesn't it work? And then we just wasted 10, 15, 20 years. We just wasted billions of dollars, had all these other, it's like, or DEI, even for that. DEI is like, it's like, that doesn't work, right? It doesn't work in offices and stuff. It makes people more tribal. It makes people more suspicious, makes people more racist. It brings up stereotypes that even really existed. You know what I mean? Then people, when you bring up stereotypes that people don't even know exist, and then they start looking at it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I do see a couple people in the office that do that." It's like it's a completely the opposite of what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
They're constantly wrong about shit. They're constantly fucking things up.
It's sad. It's really sad. But God, we've talked about a lot tonight. We've really talked about a lot tonight, and
do we really have? Let me refresh this. This is crazy. Do we really have 796 people still listening to us?
799 on my.
How does this? Yeah. Are they looking at? They're watching us on YouTube or?
I don't know. I don't know. This is. I think the 799 is the count on X. I'm not sure, but I will say this. I want to thank. Yeah, but like the crazy thing is, we can't post comments on X from here. So this is just us riffing. Okay. Paul is on YouTube. That's where all these are coming from. So but all the comments are coming from Paul. He's the only guy on YouTube talking to us, right? On YouTube. But
so we got one guy on YouTube and 800 people or 800 people on X.
Well, there's this dude who messaged us earlier. But hey George, glad to see you back.
That's me.
Oh,
but that was another guy. He was talking to us on X, I think.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right.
I don't know. Whatever. But anyways, so we got 800 people almost listening to us.
Yeah,
that's cool.
805 now. This wow.
805. Shit, man. Let's just stay on longer, man. See how it goes. See how far it goes. Do a 24-hour or 12-hour marathon, inauguration marathon.
Right? Wow.
I'm just fucking around, man. We gotta go to bed.
Yeah, I gotta go to bed too, bro. Thank you so much for joining me again. Yeah, we're gonna make this a regular thing, dude. I really like. At
least we get the energy out. People want to listen to it. Great.
Yeah, I mean, and thank you all for not going in on me regarding the Ravens.
Yeah, give them some time. Oh my God. Too early. Too soon.
Way too early. Folks, thank you again for joining us. I greatly appreciate it. Once again, you can follow Mr. Nostra Chavez on X, and of course, follow me at Isaiah L. Carter. thank you again for joining us. Have a great evening. Nick, thank you so much, my brother.
Thank you, Isaiah.
Greatly appreciate it.
You
and
too, man.
we will see y'all. We will see y'all next weekend, next Sunday. This has been Sunday Night Live. Thank you again.
We'll probably be a little earlier, right, Isaiah?
I think so. Maybe 8 o'clock. I mean, well, I mean,
it's still football season. I know playoffs, but
it is. Okay. But it is, and the only game I really care about at this, well, I care about both the AFC and NFC championships, but like the three-peat cannot happen. The three-peat, the Kansas City Chiefs cannot three-peat. So you know what? Okay, all right, Buffalo, you beat us fair and square. Because we kept fucking up. We kept dropping passes, which is like a regular fucking thing for us. So guess what? I'm rooting for you. Beat Kansas City.
That would be poetic because didn't they have like a three-peat of losses in the 90s?
They did.
Streak?
They had three-peat of losses. They three-peated right in the negative.
Yeah.
They three-peated in the negative.
Yeah.
But no. Buffalo beat the Chiefs. Josh Allen beat the Chiefs. That's all I'm saying.
I'll be rooting for them. I'll be rooting for them.
Yeah, same. NFC, that's gonna be tough because I've been low key rooting for the Eagles to take the. I like the NFC, like I like Detroit, but the Lions had too many injuries on defense, but the Commanders, the Redskins, have been absolutely killing it. That boy Jaden Daniels is something else. But anyways, I don't want to. We talk football all day long. Thank you so much again, everybody, for joining us. Good night from Brooklyn, and we will talk to you again soon. Thanks so much.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.